Good morning, everyone. I've got 11 o'clock here, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to our Thursday briefing. So today is a regular briefing, but I just wanted to let you all know that we will also be doing another live briefing tomorrow at 11, just because we do have a severe threat. So we will be sending out a full email briefing tomorrow, and we will be doing another live briefing at 11 at the same link. All righty, let's get started. Alrighty, so some of the main points that we're going to talk about today are going to be the hot and humid conditions expected today and tomorrow. We do have a heat advisory in effect for the coastal areas of Virginia today, and additional heat advisories will likely be needed tomorrow. Luckily, we do have a front coming through tomorrow, so temperatures should not be quite as high, especially heat indices, just because we have lower dew points on Saturday and Sunday. We do have chances for storms both today and Friday, and there is a threat of isolated to scattered strong storms. Additionally, for drought conditions, they are likely going to continue through the foreseeable future, even though I know we just talked about that there is a chance for storms, though we aren't expecting appreciable widespread rain in the forecast for the next few weeks or the next week or two. As far as marine weather goes, we're expecting generally benign marine conditions outside of any type of storms that we're going to see tomorrow and today. Alrighty, going through the weather pattern through next Monday, we do have a disturbance coming through today, which could bring some stronger storms. As far as Friday goes, we will have a front coming through, which will be the driver of any type of severe storms tomorrow. As mentioned previously, on Saturday, we have high pressure building in with the front to our south, so it should be not quite as hot and a lot less humid, especially inland. As far as Sunday, it will start getting warmer and warming back up, and we do have another chance for some isolated storms on Sunday. Again, on Monday, we have another front coming through, so not quite as hot, but we still do have this chance of storms. Okay, so now we're going to go through the severe threats for the next few days. So here is a look at today. This is the severe weather outlook. So we have a marginal or a level 1 across the southeastern areas, excluding some of the northeastern North Carolina counties, and then a level 2 from areas from basically Williamsburg north. Today we have low confidence in the storm coverage, and I'll go over that and I'll show you kind of what I'm talking about with some reflectivity. But we do have moderate confidence in the fact that there will be severe storms if these do develop. So as far as what we're expecting in terms of hazards for today, the primary threat is going to be wind, though isolated small hail cannot be ruled out. And the most likely timing today will be this evening through early tonight. All right, as I mentioned, the primary threat is going to be wind, and some severe gusts may exceed 60 miles per hour. Once again, there is a low threat for hail, but the main threat is wind. As far as any type of widespread flooding, we're really not expecting too much in the way of QPF or forecasted accumulation of rainfall. So we have pretty low values for most of the area in terms of rainfall accumulation. Moving forward to tomorrow, so this is the severe storm potential for tomorrow. There is higher confidence, so I would say moderate confidence in the storm coverage, as well as moderate confidence in severe storms. Just because we do have a better forcing mechanism, which is the cold front that I talked about earlier. So we're thinking scattered to even potentially as high as numerous showers and thunderstorms. And again, the main threat are going to be the damaging winds, though still cannot rule out isolated small hail. And the time frame for this will be about 4 p.m. through 10 p.m. So pretty similar to what we're expecting today in terms of timing. And just another quick look at the storm threats. You can see that there's a little bit higher of a storm threat or wind threat across the northwestern portion of our area, but for that, but and then again the lower hail threat, but also cannot be ruled out. And looking at the rainfall totals and timing for Friday, we do have higher rainfall totals expected just because the confidence is a little bit greater in the coverage of storms. So we do have more forecasted accumulation across the entire forecast area. You will likely see localized higher amounts in some of these storms, but as of now, we're expecting most of the area to see some rainfall. Now I'm going to kind of transition here real quick. Let's see. All right, so looking at, here's a current view of the US composite radar. So I'm gonna just slow this down right here. So looking at what we're looking at right now, this is gonna be our first disturbance. Now, as you can see, as we go forward through time, it really kind of dwindles a little bit, which is why there's a little bit of uncertainty regarding what's gonna happen today, just because it's already losing a little bit of momentum. But looking at this cluster here, this is going to be our disturbance for tomorrow, which is going to be right along the cold front. Right now, it's definitely producing some pretty severe stuff over Iowa, and higher confidence is expected in regards to storm coverage over our area with this system as opposed to this disturbance. Looking at simulated reflectivity, just using one member here, which is RRFS. So we're going to go through today. We're going to just kind of step through today. So this is starting at 12 p.m. You can see we have this one disturbance coming through, but as it makes its way across our area, it does start to lose momentum. Though, once again, a few isolated strong to severe storms can't be ruled out. There's just a little bit less confidence in the exact intensity and coverage of these storms. However, going through, I'm going to speed through this, through tomorrow when the cold front comes through, as you can see, and remember this is just one model, but this is a pretty good depiction of what we're thinking is going to happen. Going through, you can see that there's definitely more widespread coverage, and the storms definitely hold together a little bit better with that cold front and that forecast mechanism, or forcing mechanism, goodness. As you can see also, what it's depicting is this pretty strong line right here, because you can see the wind almost pushing out from it. So we are expecting some pretty good gusts from this one tomorrow, between about 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. And it could go a little bit later depending on, the speed of the front, but this is just kind of giving you an idea of what we're expecting. All right, now I'm going to transition back to the briefing. Just give me 1 second. All righty. Just going to take a quick blink glance at this. We do have a marginal chance for locally heavy rainfall and localized flash flooding. However, this is a very low threat, especially since we still are in the aforementioned drought. And there's very low confidence that we will get any type of flooding, especially since these storms will be moving anywhere between 10 to 25 miles per hour. That the higher speed will be tomorrow. So we're not expecting stagnant storms to just sit over areas and just produce a lot of rainfall in certain spots. Alrighty, so now we're going to take a quick look at the extended severe storm potential. As of right now, we are actually outlooked for Sunday. So we're thinking that there's at least going to be a slight risk for severe storms, generally north of US 460. And once again, this will likely be mostly damaging winds. So we'll take a better look at that tomorrow when it comes into the days 1 through 3 for the Storm Prediction Center. Alrighty, and as we've already talked about, as far as rainfall goes, we're really not expecting too much in the way of accumulation. So here's just a quick look at, the best chance looks to be over the next week or so, probably over southeastern Virginia, and northeastern North Carolina. but still not looking at a big dump of rain. All right, so moving on to heat. We do have a heat advisory in effect for coastal Virginia today, and heat indices will likely reach about 105 to even as high as 106 in these areas. And there is a good chance that we'll probably have another heat advisory in effect for tomorrow, just because we're thinking that this similar conditions are expected. And here's just a quick look at the heat risk. So this is the one on the left is going to be highlighting the heat risk today. And then looking at the next best chance will, of course, be tomorrow. And you can see there are some areas of significant, especially in northeastern North Carolina and again along coastal Virginia. But with the front coming through tomorrow, Saturday through Monday, the heat risk drops pretty significantly thanks to those lower dew points that front will be bringing through, dew points and temperatures. All right, so talking about temperatures, the max temperature for today, we're likely going to see in the mid to upper 90s for most of the area, and the same goes for tomorrow. As far as heat indices, here's a good overview of where the highest heat indices will be today and tomorrow. So obviously today is going to be more in coastal Virginia, and then we could see some of the higher heat indices and what reaches heat advisory criteria reaching a little bit farther west tomorrow. And just another, since we've gone over this, I'm gonna skip over this. Alrighty, as far as temperatures, temperatures are going to be pretty warm today and tomorrow, and then Saturday through next week, it's going to be kind of a downward trend as the front comes through, the initial front comes through, and we have another frontal passage. So cooling trends with maybe a little bit warmer temperatures on Sunday. Same goes for the minimum temperatures overnight. And as we previously talked about, our probability of precipitation for today due to the lower confidence is a lot lower, as you can see, but as heading into tomorrow, we do have that higher confidence. And same goes with Sunday, which will match with what we were looking at with the Storm Prediction Center's slight risk on Sunday into early Monday. So we're going to go just really quickly glance over just because we do have some events that are happening across our area. We know in Yorktown, and this is going to be the very similar forecast for Hampton for any type of CL250 events for tomorrow. The main threats are going to be the heat indices of the 100 to 105, as well as the level 2 or slight risk of severe storms. And then heading into Elizabeth City for one of their events, we can see that the main things also again are going to be the heat indices of 105 or 107. So heat advisory criteria for today and tomorrow, as well as at least for today, I guess both days they're highlighted in for a marginal risk of severe storms. All right. Moving on to the rip current forecast. We have low rip currents through all of the weekend, just because we are going to have those marine conditions that are pretty benign through the weekend. So not expecting too much in the way of rip currents. Here is the latest drought update. As you can see, a good portion of our area still is in extreme drought. We did have some rainfall last week and I think the previous week that did lower some of these areas down to a moderate drought to a severe drought. So some of the rainfall did help. However, we still need a decent amount of rainfall to kind of combat the current drought conditions. As far as tropical weather goes, there is a disturbance possible in the Bay of Campeche that will move into the Gulf, but we're really not expecting anything in our area. So all right, now we're going to transition to, another note that I did want to talk about real quick. We do have a Skywarn class. If anyone is interested today, you can register for it. It is at noon, so it'll be right after this. On this think it's the same link, but I would look that up. But we do have that today, and it is the basic Skywarn class if anyone's interested in that to become a NWS certified storm spotter. All right, now we're going to move on to marine. Okay, so for anyone who's curious about the marine, very benign marine conditions over the next few days. For Sunday, there is a chance, Sunday and Sunday night, as the secondary front, so not tomorrow's front, but another front that's going to come through, might bring in some higher winds briefly in the wake of the front. As you can see, really not expecting too much in the way. I mean, as far as for tomorrow, you might see some areas highlighted here that might gust up to 18, 19, but we're really not expecting too much in the way of small craft advisory conditions. All right, and anyone going offshore, same deal. Not expecting any small craft advisory conditions. Pretty benign through the weekend, with the best chance of any type of increasing winds happening on Sunday or seas. And I guess this is a better look at any type of increasing winds on Sunday, just because it's a little bit farther in outlook. So you've got a few areas gusting between, I would say, 15 to offshore, gusting to 25. So there is a marginal chance for any type of small craft advisories on Sunday, but we'll look into that as we get closer. And for the bay, seas will remain between 1 to 2 feet, with potentially the mouth of the bay seeing some 3-foot waves in the wake of the front on Saturday. And lastly, just take a quick look at the coastal waters. This is going to be the significant wave height through Sunday at 8 p.m. So once again, not really seeing too much in the way of marine hazards. Waves should stay, or seas should stay between 2 to 4 feet for the duration of the weekend. Alrighty, now we're just gonna log out. And one thing I did want to talk about one more time is that we will be having another briefing, a live briefing tomorrow, at 11 a.m. for those of you who are interested. So please join us for that, and we will be sending out another email briefing tomorrow. All right. If anyone has any questions, just let me know. Yeah, go ahead.